Today's Dear Path devotional comes from 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 16. "That's enough," Samuel said to Saul. "Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night." "Tell me," Saul replied. And this verse is a conversation really in the midst of a lot of drama that's happening in chapter 15. God has commanded King Saul to completely wipe out the Amalekites, and Saul doesn't do that. But he tries to claim to Samuel that's exactly what he did, but Samuel shows up and he hears the sheep bawling in the background. And he realizes that, Saul has not followed through. What I find fascinating about this verse is that, remember who made Saul king? Saul was pretty much a nobody up to this point. He was tall, but outside of that was it. Saul was a nobody. It wasn't until Samuel came along and anointed him, because God told him to, that Saul rose to be the king. God picked Saul to be king. But here we are in this conversation, and Samuel says enough to Saul as Saul's trying to distract from the truth. And he tells Saul, God's got a word for you, and he gave it to me last night. And notice how verse 16 ends. And Saul replies to Samuel, God's messenger, "Tell me." So the God who gave Saul the authority to be king is now getting permission from said king to speak. Something seems off there, doesn't it? See, he's God. He doesn't get permission to speak into our lives. He's always speaking into our lives. We don't serve a God who is silent. We serve a God who's speaking to us, maybe not with an audible voice every time, but he speaks to us in so many different ways. But the one thing that he doesn't need from us, the one thing that is, he doesn't need our permission to be able to speak to us. But now, we do have a decision to make whether or not we're going to listen to what God has to say, and whether we're going to be obedient to what God's saying to us. But trust me, God is speaking to you.